Well, good the fuck morning to you. A little change of pace. I am at the house. Fortunately, the cab is broken at the moment. Start work at FedEx Monday morning. Woohoo. But tonight, yes, tonight I'm going to be doing a review on the 2016 Dodge Challenger RT 392. Sorry, SRT 392. Yeah, big boy. Unfortunately, big boy has some problems. Now, what is the SRT 392? Well, the Challenger comes with a plethora of engines, starting at the V6 and ending at the Hellcat. The 392 is a step under the Hellcat. And somebody let me drive one. Oh, yeah. And he let me drive a proper one with a 6-speed manual transmission. Hang on to your asses. Now, oh, shit. Dropping stuff. Now, I'm going to try and stay subjective here because Mr. Mopar, well, put me in a Mopar muscle car and it's all said and done. However, there are some very glaring issues with that car. One, the clutch is extremely heavy. I'm talking Peterbilt heavy. I tried asking the guy that let me drive it if it was a stage 2 or stage 3 clutch. He didn't know. But the clutch is extremely heavy. Granted, its grab spot is right up front. But just getting in it to change gear, chain keeps getting stuck on the chair, so every time I try to wiggle, I get caught. But when you push the clutch down to get into first or get into reverse and all that, it is extremely heavy and it will push back. So there is no just kicking this clutch unless you want your ankle to burst. It is an extremely, oh my god, heavy clutch. I've driven Lamborghinis that didn't have clutches that heavy. 2, visibility. And don't get me wrong, the Challenger has very, very sexy curves for a muscle car. It really does. Unfortunately, her wide hips block the view. Yes, you can adjust your mirrors to put the edge of the fender just on the edge of your mirror. But instead of looking to the lane next to you, you're looking 2 lanes over. So if you put your mirror where you can kind of see what's coming up on you, half of it is taken up by the fender. So while you're staring at her gorgeous curves most of the day, it does block your view. Rear visibility is absolutely almost none. Your rear view mirror, you get a box that you can see out of the back of the car. That's it. You can see out the side windows just fine. You can see out the front window just fine. But again, you get that muscle car. The big problem with a muscle car is you have that long phallic hood. You don't know where the son of a bitch stops. It just stretches on into the ether. Now, now let's get to the good stuff. This car is almost scary fast. You're talking 45 miles an hour in first gear before you have to shift. And you're not at red line until 40 miles an hour. And then grab another gear. And it's fast. Bang, 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 bang. We were up to 60 in 4.5 seconds. Easily. You could be doing 70 miles an hour in second gear. Highway speed in second gear. You've got 4 forward gears left. This car tops at about $170. And it is lightning quick. But at the end of the day, it's still a muscle car. It's heavy. Everybody gives the Challenger about needing to go on a diet. It's heavy, it's fat, it's heavy. It is, and you feel it. You throw this thing through a turn, you feel it. You go to take off, you feel it. Don't get me wrong, it'll leave anything at the light. but it wants to put you in the trunk the minute you put your foot down. It is capable of doing rolling burnouts. What are rolling burnouts? Well, let's say I'm in fourth gear doing 55 miles an hour and I decide to jump up to third and bury it. With the traction control off, you will spin the back tires in a burnout while you're doing 50 miles an hour down the street. Holy crap, that's a shit ton of torque. And let's talk about the 392 platform for a second. Now, 392 doesn't sound like a big number. Not when we talk about the big blocks of old, the 454, the 572, hell, I think Ford's big block was the 351 Windsor. The 392 is a small block. And what it's basically the 5.7 liter Hemi, overboard with a whole lot more shit added onto it. Now, the 392 I drove had a manual. Apparently, that's rare, because most of the 392, unfortunately, are sold with an 8-speed automatic slush box. No. Sorry, Dodge guys, if you're going to build a hot rod, and that's what a 392 is. I don't care if it's in a Challenger, I don't care if it's in a Charger. If you're going to put a 392, that much power, into a vehicle, it's got to have a manual transmission. And I don't want to hear that shit that automatics are smarter than us now, automatics shift faster. It's not the point. It's not the point. You got to have a manual on that fucking thing. Now, one of the things on the interior that bugged the ever-living shit out of me is the shifter is gated. What's a gated shifter? A gated shifter is basically you have a metal pattern. And you can't just, rock it into first, rock it into third and everything. You actually have to come over and there's a channel the shifter follows to make sure you hit the gears properly. It's actually a cleaner way to shift. Unfortunately, you don't see the gate because they put this leather fucking boot on top of the gate. At one point, I installed it because I thought I'd rocked it into first, and I had slipped it into the third gate. You can't have a gated shifter with a leather boot over the top of it. That's just not right. I did, however, like the pistol grip shifter. I thought that was a nice touch. And at first I thought I wasn't really going to be a fan of a pistol grip shifter, but it's a lot, especially for the pulls, because the way the transmission's almost turned towards the driver. So instead of running out straight first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, it's on an angle. So first is literally all the way over towards your leg and up towards your knee. Second is down by your hip. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth. It's on an angle. It's the whole shifting thing is rotated towards the driver. For that design, the pistol grip shifter worked amazingly well. Amazingly well. I didn't feel uncomfortable at all until I had to step on that clutch. That clutch is heavy. My knee still hurts. Now granted, I've got a bad knee. That could be a problem. And the stiffness of a clutch is really driver's preference. You can tune a clutch for its grab point and all that. So that's really something that's driver's preference. If you buy a manual 392 and you want to lighten the clutch a bit, you do have that option. They can tune it for you and do whatever you want with it. But from the factory, that fucker kicks like a mule. It really does. Gas consumption, who cares? Who gives a shit? You bought a 392. You bought the second biggest engine they can wedge into a muscle car. Do you really care about miles per gallon? I didn't. Because when you buy a car like that, you don't give a fuck about miles per gallon. You give a fuck about smiles per gallon. And there are plenty. There are fucking plenty. The car is just... And it always wants to go. Every gear. Go, 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 go. Breathe on the throttle. Go. Throw another gear. Go. Go, go. It does not like to just cruise. And the sound from the factory, oh, that glorious sound. It didn't have a modified exhaust. It had the stock Mopar exhaust on it, and it sounded amazing. You got that low rumble, but it wasn't deafening anything at all. I mean, the stereo in it, amazing. I give the car a 9 out of 10. The only reason it's not a 10 out of 10 is the clutch and the visibility problems. and that fucking gated shifter with a leather boot over the top of it. You got one of the two. One of the two. You can't have a gated shifter with a leather boot. Shit doesn't work. But if you're looking for something that'll just turn tires to smoke, you found it. That 392 Challenger is amazing. Absolutely amazing. 9 out of 10. All day long. All day long I would own one. I would probably have many, 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 many speeding tickets. But it would be totally worth it. Totally worth it. Because the whole point about a muscle car is it makes you... Rawr. The whole point about a muscle car is it makes you feel stronger than you are. It makes you feel more powerful than you are because you're in command of this ungodly, large, gas-guzzling, tire-imploding creation. And it does it so well. I was 12 years old again behind the wheel of that car. I really was. I really was. And I mean, the whole time, guys just egging me on. Give it some more gas. Give it some gas. Give me some gas. Go, go, go. Fuck it. Go. Oh, I would love to get my hands on one of those on a track. How does it compare to the 5.7 Hemi and the Hellcat? Well, I haven't driven a Hellcat, so I can't tell you. The 5.7 Hemi might not do to get the job done. It does not take you by surprise that the 392 does. You know, Dodge is good at two things: building muscle cars and building trucks, and they built a fucking monster when it comes to a 390 Challenger. I mean, if you're looking for something that has almost Hellcat power, but you don't want to spend Hellcat money, you get the 392. And I mean, you could do simple things to it to squeeze even more power out of it. You know, you want a fast car, you want the Hellcat, but you don't want to spend the money. You buy a 392. You put a hotter intake on it. You put a fucking, or say hotter, you put a colder intake on it. You put an oil catch can on it. You know, you open up the exhaust a little bit, maybe put some turn downs on it. That thing would just gone. Absolutely and utterly gone. And I have always bit about how expensive modern cars are. Well, the one I was looking at today was $30,000. But you know what? For a toy, it's fucking worth it. It is fucking worth it. It is worth every dime of it. I would drive one as a daily driver. I would hate life in traffic. I really would with that clutch. But I would drive it every fucking day. Every day. Just with a grin. I haven't stopped smiling this entire fucking review because it is an amazing drive. And yes, I understand that there are people out there that don't enjoy driving, or there are people out there that don't get the idea of driving fast is happy, but for the rest of you gearheads out there, you've got to get behind the wheel of one of these things, even if it's just for a test drive, because it's fucking stellar. It is absolutely and utterly stellar. It is, fast car, very fast car, very powerful car, and for once worth every damn dime. It's not something I don't think I'll say very often, but it's worth it, every damn dime of it. But that's all I got for tonight for the review, guys. I'll have another review tomorrow night. Holy shit, I got more reviews. Yeah, I'll have another review tomorrow night. But before I sign off tonight, I want to wish a very, very special Sweet 16 to my soon-to-be stepdaughter, Mandy Shelton. She will turn Sweet 16 tomorrow. So for everybody out in Facebook land and YouTube world, when you see this, do wish her a happy Sweet 16. I'm very proud of you, girl. But other than that, you guys have a good night, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.